Picture this. It's 2 in the morning. You're scrolling through social media, watching everyone else's highlight reel, the perfect relationships, the dream vacations, the aesthetic breakfast photos with captions about gratitude and living your best life. And you feel nothing. Or worse, you feel empty. Maybe you have the job, the apartment, the relationship, all the things you thought would make you happy. But there's this hollowness inside that you can't explain, this persistent sense that something is missing. So you try harder. You buy the productivity planner, you wake up at 5 a.m., you practice gratitude journaling, you repeat affirmations in the mirror, and still, happiness slips through your fingers like water. What if I told you this isn't your failure? What if the entire game has been rigged from the start? What if you've been chasing something that, by its very nature, cannot be caught? Here's the truth that no one wants to hear. Modern culture has sold you a lie about happiness. They've convinced you it's a product you can buy, a destination you can reach, a feeling you can maintain if you just try hard enough. You've been taught that happiness comes from getting what you want. The promotion will make you happy. The perfect body will make you happy. Finding your soulmate will make you happy. Just one more achievement, one more purchase, one more life upgrade, and finally, you'll feel it. But you never do, because the goalpost keeps moving. There's always the next thing, always something more to acquire, to achieve, to become. And this is where modern society has led you astray. We've confused 3 fundamentally different things and called them all happiness. First, we confuse happiness with pleasure. That dopamine hit from a new purchase, the excitement of a first date, the rush of likes on your post. But pleasure fades, doesn't it? The new phone becomes ordinary within weeks, the relationship loses its novelty, and suddenly you're back to empty, searching for the next hit. Second, we confuse happiness with achievement. We tell ourselves we'll be happy when we get promoted, when we lose the weight, when we finally prove ourselves. But success without fulfillment is just exhaustion wearing a crown. You reach the summit and realize you're still the same person, with the same hollowness inside. Third, we confuse happiness with an emotion to be maintained. We perform positivity. We force ourselves to stay grateful, stay optimistic, stay happy. And this performance is exhausting because emotions aren't meant to be controlled like that. They're meant to flow. So here you are, chasing a feeling that disappears when you grasp at it, trying to force yourself into a state that cannot be forced, and wondering why you feel like a failure. But what if happiness isn't a feeling at all? This is exactly what Aristotle understood 2,400 years ago, and it's what we've completely forgotten. Aristotle didn't talk about happiness the way we do. He talked about something called eudaimonia, and this word changes everything. Eudaimonia doesn't mean feeling happy. It means flourishing, living well, actualizing your potential as a human being. It's not about what you feel in this moment. It's about what you're becoming over a lifetime. Here's the radical part. Aristotle said happiness isn't something you pursue directly. It's a byproduct, a side effect of living excellently. Think about that. You don't become happy, you become excellent, and happiness follows naturally, like a shadow follows the body. But what does it mean to live excellently? Aristotle asked a simple question. What is the unique function of a human being? A knife's function is to cut. A musician's function is to make music. What is your function as a human? Not pleasure. Plants can grow and animals can feel pleasure. That's not what makes you uniquely human. What separates you is your capacity for reason, for conscious choice, for virtue, for living according to principles you've chosen, not just reacting to whatever life throws at you. Eudaimonia means using these capacities fully. It means exercising your rationality, developing your character, making choices that align with your deepest values. When you binge watch shows to numb yourself, you're not flourishing. When you scroll mindlessly to escape discomfort, you're not living excellently. When you chase external validation instead of internal integrity, you're abandoning your human function. And this is why you feel empty. Not because you're not happy enough, but because you're not living in a way worthy of your potential. Now here's where Aristotle gets practical. He introduced something called the doctrine of the mean, and this will change how you approach every area of your life. Virtue, he said, lies in the middle between 2 extremes. Not because mediocrity is good, but because excellence requires precision, like an archer hitting the bullseye. Not too far left, not too far right, exactly on target. Take confidence. Too little, and you have timidity, self-doubt, paralysis. Too much, and you have arrogance, narcissism, delusion. The mean is authentic self-assurance, knowing your worth without inflating it. Or pleasure. Total denial leads to joylessness, bitterness, a life drained of color, but indulgence leads to addiction, emptiness, being enslaved by your cravings. The mean is temperance, enjoying life without being controlled by it, Even with social media, total isolation cuts you off from genuine connection, but constant validation seeking destroys your peace. The mean is intentional connection that enriches rather than depletes you. Finding this balance requires what Aristotle called practical wisdom. It's not a formula you can copy. It's a skill you develop through practice, through reflection, through honestly examining your life and adjusting course. Excellence isn't a moment. It's a habit, a way of being you cultivate day after day. And this is exactly why chasing happiness backfires. When you constantly ask yourself, am I happy? Am I happy now? What about now? You step outside the experience. You become a spectator of your own life, evaluating, judging, measuring. But happiness requires absorption, presence, flow. It happens when you're lost in the activity, not monitoring how you feel about it. The musician doesn't create beauty by constantly asking, am I enjoying this? They create beauty by being fully present with the music, and the enjoyment comes as a natural result. The same with relationships. Constantly analyzing, are we happy, undermines the connection, but being present, honest, generous, that creates the conditions where happiness naturally emerges. This is the paradox. The more you focus on happiness, the more it escapes. The more you focus on excellent activity, the more happiness finds you. So what does this look like in practice? Stop asking what will make you happy. Start asking what activities allow you to express your excellence. Where do you lose track of time? Where do you feel most fully yourself? Not where you feel the most pleasure, but where you feel most alive, most engaged, most aligned with who you truly are. Stop waiting to be happy when you achieve something. Start becoming the person who practices excellence daily, not for the outcome, but because the practice itself is worthy of you. Stop consuming pleasure passively. Start creating value actively. Are you spending your life or investing it? Are you scrolling or learning, complaining or contributing? Stop measuring yourself by other people's standards. Develop your own definition of excellence based on your values, not society's trends. Every morning, ask yourself one question. What would living excellently look like today? Not perfectly, not impressively, excellently, in alignment with your potential. Every evening, reflect. Did I act according to my values? Where did I find the mean? Where did I lose it? And remember Aristotle's time horizon. One good day doesn't make a flourishing life. One swallow doesn't make a summer. Eudaimonia is measured over years, over decades, over the arc of an entire existence. You're playing the long game now. But here's the hard truth that most self-help gurus won't tell you. Excellence requires sacrifice. You cannot have everything. You cannot optimize for pleasure and depth simultaneously. Some pleasures must be given up for higher goods. Some easy paths must be abandoned for worthwhile struggles. You must choose who you're becoming, and that means choosing what you're not. This is uncomfortable. Modern culture promises you can have it all. Happiness without effort, excellence without discipline, meaning without sacrifice. But that's the lie that keeps you empty. The real question is this: what pleasures are you willing to give up for a life of greater depth? What hard practices are you avoiding because they're uncomfortable? Are you choosing what feels good now over what would make you excellent long term? Because here's what Aristotle promises. The more you sacrifice immediate pleasure for virtuous activity, the deeper your fulfillment becomes. Not happiness in the moment, but a profound sense that your life means something, that you're becoming someone worthy of respect, your own respect. And when you stop chasing happiness and start building excellence, something shifts. You're no longer at the mercy of your feelings, your circumstances, other people's success. You're free. Free to focus on what you can control, your choices, your character, your daily practices. Happiness isn't something you find. It's something that finds you when you're absorbed in excellent activity, aligned with your values, expressing your potential. It arrives uninvited, unforced, like light through a window you didn't know was open. So stop asking if you're happy. Start asking if you're excellent. Start asking if today you lived in a way worthy of your human potential. The rest will follow. Not immediately, not perfectly, but gradually. Like a garden that blooms when you tend it not for the flowers, but for the love of tending itself. Now tell me, what's one area of your life where you've been chasing the feeling instead of practicing the virtue? Write it in the comments. Let's help each other move from happiness seeking to excellence building. And if this changed your perspective, if it gave you a new way to think about your life, you know what to do. Because happiness is not a butterfly to chase. It's a flower that blooms in the garden of a well-lived life. Stop chasing. Start tending. The garden is waiting,